Oh, yeah. Oh, I'll tell you what. You are listening to the Bob Culture Podcast. I'll tell you what. This is the Macho Man Randy Savage. And you are listening to my man Rob. Don't you go away. Turn to the spice.
TLC edition of the Bob Culture Podcast. Right now you're listening to music from It Lives, It Breathes up there over from New England. They have their cover of Metalingus, of course, Edge's theme from WWE. Check out their cover. They're on iTunes, they're on Spotify. Guys, as always, thanks for letting me use your tunage. And I am stoked right now to talk about what looks like a good pay-per-view on paper, the TLC pay-per-view. Of course, I am joined from the popbreak.com, the Anti-Smark himself, the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Matthew Widdis. Matt, how are you, bro?
Hey, yo, bad guys everywhere.
Yeah, that's right. And making his debut on the Bob Culture Podcast from the Podcast Dummies Network, the one and only Mr. Chris Demarco.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited. A huge fan.
Yeah,
obviously through Trev at Podcast Dummies, and I'm excited to give some pretty terrible predictions here.
No, man. No, you're in, man. You never know. People have had some good debuts.
The only thing that's for sure is that nothing's for certain.
That's right. Hey, man.
I'm shocked. True. You are right. I'm shocked at the card that usually it's like that kind of December-y, kind of gets lull and lazy.
True.
With the story writing, but it seems like it's actually kind of promising. At least some of the card. Yeah. Some of it's mediocre, but some of it's got good implications here.
For sure. And we'll see what happens. Real quick before we get into the matches, Chris, well, what do we want to do on Twitch for people following us on Twitch? They want to hit that heart right now?
Yes, please. Twitch.tv/podcastdummies. And then, of course, hit the little heart. Obviously, if you want to subscribe, that's the way to do it. Feel free to badger us on social media at Podcast Dummies. Bob Culture, I know you guys are on...
we're all over the place. The Bob Culture Podcast, Facebook, at Bob Culture Pod on Twitter, all that good stuff.
Yeah, feel free to badger us in the chat on Twitter, whatever you want to do.
We got a chat this time.
We have a chat. We are live.
Weigh in. Yeah, tell us if you think we're way off.
We most likely are.
Yeah, well, you never know. All right, guys, you guys ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Ready to go.
All right, we are gentlemen here on the Bob Culture Pod. Well, I like to think so. On the Bob Culture, I use that term, yeah, loosely.
Challenge.
But we as always, we're going to go ladies first. Now, for a match that I think that should be last on the card, we're getting right into it.
Oh.
We're talking about the man, Becky Lynch, current SmackDown Women's Champion, who I was hanging out with last Friday. That's another story.
I saw the picture. I was pretty jealous of
that. Class act. We'll get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Versus Charlotte Flair. I'm not going to woo right now. Versus Asuka in a TLC match. I think it's going to be a show stealer. I think this match should go last. I could go on and on about it. Let's throw it over to Matt. Matt, what do you think about this match? Where do you think it should be on the card? And who? I mean, this is a tough one. We're getting right into who's going to win?
I would be surprised if this is not the last on the card. I know a lot of the posters is Seth and Dean.
True.
At the top.
True.
This is a big head scratcher all the way around. I can see anybody winning. I can see anybody being the one to take the fall. This is the one that figures out who we're going to see at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Correct. I have to agree with that. I think so the problem is it kills me to say this because everyone's like, I'm sure you guys are NXT people as well.
I love NXT.
Yeah, that's like it's almost more than the main roster. Which like is like almost like two nonconformists that's become its own conformist hipster.
Yeah, I get, and it's like the cool one to like.
NXT's become like the cooler one to like now.
Yeah,
it kills me because of how Asuka was built on that. I feel like she's just there to eat a pin, and it kills me to say that. I feel like she's just there to eat a pin, and I feel unfortunately that Lynch is going to drop the belt. Now, the benefit to that is I think they're going to give her like the Stone Cold-esque run that everyone's been clamoring for online. And I think she wins the Royal Rumble, and I think that's when she gets to the main event still for that title. So I don't think she's out of the title picture. Obviously, on the women's side for Raw, we'll get to later. I think Rousey's obviously still going to be a big part of it, and we'll get to that. But I can't see Lynch not being this main event. She's white hot right now.
Dude, I have to piggyback off that. Yeah. I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't know if Asuka's gonna. I think Asuka might actually win it, but I think I think you're right. I think Becky's gonna lose the belt, and I'm sitting here thinking, why would you have Becky lose the belt right now? That makes no sense unless, like as you said, she's gonna win the Royal Rumble. It writes itself.
Yeah.
How's she gonna face Ronda again? Win the Royal Rumble.
Exactly.
she wants that match personally. She can, kind of have that little fall and have that huge climb. I said to Becky when I met her, you get a few, class act, get a few minutes with her. I said to her, thanks for coming to New Jersey. Thanks for doing this. I appreciate it. And then when I left, I said, and we'll see you back in New Jersey when you're headlining WrestleMania. And she said, yes, I will.
She's really killing it, even on social media. She plays the part perfectly.
Yeah. In person, though, class act. Great with the kids,
I could see,
just fantastic.
And I think you're right, because that's the beauty of the triple threat match, is that
correct, yeah.
you can lose and still be protected in the loss.
Yeah.
And keep your star shining.
Exactly. And then there's that whole other factor. We're kind of sneaking this in little by little, but we've always, that rumor of the 4 horsewomen versus the 4 horsewomen of MMA.
Yeah.
If Asuka wins, which a lot of fans have been clamoring for as well, just a lot of these storylines write themselves.
It frees them up entirely.
It frees them up to fight each other, or somehow get this 4 horsewomen thing going. Now that's it seemed to escalate on NXT and everything else. So it's very interesting. Matt, who do you think is going to be the champion at the end of this match, though?
I think they're going to put on Charlotte.
You think Charlotte? I almost went that way too. And go ahead.
I think, like you're saying, it makes sense that they can move Becky wherever they want. They can, they want Becky versus Ronda. Very soon, shows are going to be on different networks. Was it a year or 2 years from now?
Something like that, yeah.
Which is a long ways off, but if they can have the biggest name on the card and biggest talk of the industry on the card, Royal Rumble, that's...
Yeah.
It's amazing how you're right.
You
want to talk about the women really getting the equality in the past year or so, or at least moving in the direction. It's amazing that it's happening when Vince has his handpicked child in Charlotte Flair. He's like she's become the Roman Reigns that everyone hated, and that's why I think she's getting the title. She's gonna get it, and then she can carry the feud on the mic through the lull of the holidays, and then right into Royal Rumble season. I think that she'll be fine. They'll probably give her a throwaway rivalry, maybe against Asuka, while Lynch, tends to something else, just to hold over to that WrestleMania moment.
This guy's crushing it. Came out firing.
It's more like my fantasy bookings than what I think is going to happen.
It's good. We all do that.
Yeah, completely. I was just thinking, and I like what you're saying about Charlotte, but I was just thinking, Asuka, if she did win the title in this case, maybe she doesn't go into the Royal Rumble match, and that might be another reason, her being the previous winner from last year. Yeah. Not that means anything. But just another thought. Again, there's so many ways you can go. Even if Becky wins, it's a home run, obviously. Like I said, it's stupid for her to drop the title right now, but it makes so much sense for her to win the Royal Rumble. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves. It totally does. Yeah,
I mean, one thing for sure I can't see is them doing the first 2 women's Royal Rumbles and Asuka winning both. I can't see that, especially with, frankly, you need these big core 4 pay-per-views, the Survivor Series, the Royal Rumbles, the WrestleManias. You need someone who can carry on the mic for the casual fan. And unfortunately, Asuka and the Nakamura's of the world, they can't do that right now. So I can't see her winning 2 Royal Rumbles back to back. That was a shock for me that Nakamura and Asuka won. It was awesome, but I was very surprised that it happened.
Yeah, we had, last year on our Royal Rumble predictions, our buddy Chris Nunes and Mike both had perfect predictions for the Royal Rumble.
Really? Oh,
yeah, even, and that's a hard one to predict because you got 30 people. But
I would never have I guess.
They got it. It was crazy. So what do we have here? I'm going Asuka. You're going Charlotte. Chris,
I'm gonna go Flair. I think a Flairian way she gets the win.
And plus another reason, a good, towards your guys' merit, to your point, her getting those title numbers closer to 16. What's she at 8 right now?
Already at 8.
Yeah. There's just one more for her. So, and again, to your point, Matt, it being a triple threat, it's interesting.
Yeah, I think there's a really Ric Flair way of getting in and stealing the win, probably.
Yeah.
I can see that.
All right, moving on. Now, Matt reminded me of this one. I forgot to write it down, but if you guys have been watching the Mixed Match Challenge, there is actually a match. I don't know if it's going to be on the kickoff show or not. Carmella, the Fabulous Truth, Carmella and R-Truth, help me out here, versus Jinder Mahal.
Mahalisha?
Yeah,
that's it.
Yes. And
I hate that.
Oh, it's terrible.
We were saying a lot of the mixed match. Bless you. A lot of the mixed match challenge teams have been suffering from injuries, and we're shuffling everybody. But in this case, this year the winner gets the 30th spot in each respective men and women's Royal Rumble. So I think some fans aren't you shouldn't affect the Royal Rumble or anything from that. I think it's interesting. Why not? I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's cool. So I guess real quick, who do you see winning the Mixed Match Challenge? And also, I guess more so, who do you see getting the 30th spot in the Rumbles? Is it Mela and Truth coming in? I'm going to let Matt start this off because he had an interesting theory. Go ahead.
First off, because they're popular enough to get their own talk segment at one point, and this dance break everybody seems to like it at the live shows. Fabulous Truth. It also lends plenty. Carmella could be considered a legitimate contender for that 30 spot. She's already a Money in the Bank winner. They've run with her before as a champ. And again, the comedic possibilities of she comes out, everybody's worn down, she starts the dance break. R-Truth comes out at like number 24 instead of 30. I'm here, number 30.
Yes. I can definitely see that.
You're not
so
number 30.
Perfect.
I love that. I love that.
My bad. Everybody be good.
I can definitely see it. Yeah, I think we could probably all agree that no matter what team wins, number 30 is not winning either Rumble this year. Yeah. Maybe the women's one, if Mela's there. I just can't see Jinder Mahal, R-Truth, or Alicia Fox winning anything substantial in the Royal Rumble. I can't see that happening. I like the Truth and Mela, the comedic aspect of it. Jinder and Fox would just be raining with booze to end up each run. Because there's normally like a surprise aspect of it. Now you're taking that away from the 30th.
True.
So
True.
You might as well make it someone that the crowd's at least gonna smile and give a head nod to. That's why I think it's probably got to be R-Truth and Carmella. People hate Jinder Mahal when he had that title run like a year ago. That was very upsetting to the whole IWC.
And for the last, 5-6 years, number 30 has always gotten booed because everybody thinks it's going to be
Daniel Bryan.
It's going to be Daniel Bryan or CM Punk or somebody, and it never is. It's not going to be that. To kind of do
first of all, I thought yours is probably going to happen now that I heard it out loud.
Yeah.
Like him coming out number 20 or something. I could see him coming out to the wrong music or something. In past years, I thought it would have been perfect, and I wish they had done it. That The Miz came out, but to Daniel Bryan's music, because he was always playing up Daniel Bryan's stuff. And then at the time, he didn't come out of retirement. I thought that would have been great, but this is a good consolation, like a comedic consolation prize.
Yeah, it seems like we're all excited about it too.
Yeah.
You guys, I was gonna go the other way, but you guys totally convinced me. I love Matt's idea. I'm gonna go with you guys. I'm gonna hop on the, I'm gonna go with the R-Truth and Carmella train here, the Fabulous Truth. I just love the dance break. It just makes more sense. You get that comedy part of the Royal Rumble.
I could see him trading for number 1. Number 1's better than number 30, something.
Just so the only reason I was gonna go Jinder is, of course, for the booze and coming in and scaring us that Jinder might win the Rumble.
Yeah.
But I like what you guys are saying. I'm on board. All right. Very good stuff.
Keeping score.
Now, let's go for a chair match, of course, with my favorite of all time, the reason I started watching wrestling, Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton. Matt had a great column on the Pop Break reviewing SmackDown, and I forget what you had said exactly about how it showed that the legends are still very, very relevant.
Oh, yeah.
And this one is tough. I feel like it could go either way. We've seen Mysterio pin Orton not too long ago pretty easily. And then Orton's just having this huge super heel, not quite legend killer, but kind of killing all your favorite SmackDown underdogs, which there's plenty of on SmackDown Live right now, which is probably part of the reason they turned Daniel Bryan. I digress. But just him ripping off his mask and disrespecting the heritage and stuff like that. So I feel like it could go either way. Let's start with Chris on this one. Any strong feelings on this one?
Most people again, I'll go back to they hate the Roman Reigns being booked as strongly as he is. I think and I love Triple H. I love what he did with NXT and everything, but I feel like he protects his guys, and Orton, Batista, and Flair, those are his crew, and I just don't see him having Orton lose to Rey again. Like you said, he lost in a pretty upsetting quick fashion, and that led to the beatdown. But he seems to just be going on a legend-killing tear, and I feel like it's slowly upgrading as he goes on. He beat up, Ty Dillinger was low rung. Jeff Hardy was obviously a little bit higher. Now it's up to Rey Mysterio, who's a little more of a legend, surefire Hall of Famer. So I feel like it's going to keep boiling up until probably a WrestleMania season where it's someone who comes, once every year or so. So I got to give it to Orton on this one. I'm not happy about that, but I give it to Orton.
I'm just gonna straight up completely agree with you, man.
Yeah.
They're building this huge heel thing for Orton. Not that he even needs it.
Of
but
course.
he may even do something super deplorable to Ray. I mean, come to think of it, he's already
unmasked.
He's unmasked and ripped off his mask. He put a chair into his throat. Put a neck brace.
He's put a screwdriver through Jeff Hardy's ear.
I think they go with that. They'll get the next crazy, deplorable, vicious thing.
And don't forget the worst thing of all. He broke Ty Dillinger's fingers. How will we?
How will we count?
Yeah, that's.
He will not be able to count that high anymore.
I don't think I've seen him on TV since, actually.
No, he's been gone.
You got, Matt?
I was actually leaning towards Ray. I could see Ray and Randy gets the comeuppance, and then immediately after, he just stomps the hell out of Ray.
Yeah.
So he still comes off as, the dangerous, the Viper, the Predator.
A lot of sense.
But I'm starting to think like you guys, that they're building Randy for one more big one.
Yeah.
Like, is he the guy that...
You forget he's up there, compared to his buddies. He's getting up there in age as well. But you almost turned me with the whole, that's how they save his character. If he loses, he just beats the hell out of the guy immediately after.
That makes perfect sense too, man.
Yeah. Either way, I think he comes out of it looking strong. That's what I think we're pretty much unanimous on.
Yeah, it's basically, you beat me for 3 seconds, I'm going to beat on you for the next 3 weeks.
Exactly.
I hate picking against my guys, too, man. And I feel like I hate not picking Becky. And we always pick Becky on the podcast. Always, always, always. But I think, we're just thinking ahead for the Royal Rumble. So you're on the record going Orton or Ray?
I'm going to go with Ray.
I like it. Changing it up. Good, man. All right, awesome.
Two Ortons and a Ray.
You guys are killing it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I was, going over the match card and reading everything going on. It's Elias versus Bobby Lashley, correct?
Yes.
In a ladder match?
It's a guitar on a pole match.
Yeah, did I read that correctly?
They really didn't mention that.
That's what I thought.
No,
did I miss something?
There's not a great build. I mean, they have been going back and forth, but as far as building the match,
I had no idea it was a ladder guitar match.
The Jeff Jarrett special going on there.
Yeah.
It's
interesting.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
That's why I was like, did I read this wrong? But because I watched every episode of everything. But yeah, okay, that'll be fun. That'll be interesting.
Good gimmick.
I'm just gonna go with the guitar. First ever guitar over the ring, Matt, or has that been done with Jeff Jarrett?
Like a honky, I can see like a honky tonk man or something.
Okay. So if I was gonna say if it is with the first in a ladder hanging, like maybe they did it on a pole or something, who knows? But if that is kind of the first of its kind, I guess we'll have to find out. I'm just going to straight up go Elias on this one. Let him have it. Lashley's just being a heel and not really doing anything for me. And that's all I got. I was excited to see Lio Rush fight the other night. That's
Oh, yeah.
205 guy. Yeah.
Good up-and-coming talent. But yeah, I'll go Elias. Chris, what do you got on this one?
This is like a really tepid, this rivalry all the way through. Perfect examples. We didn't even know the stipulation until we Googled it earlier today.
Exactly.
I think the Lio Rush aspect of it makes me go Lashley. I think Elias is loved so much by fans right now, which was pretty organic because he came as a heel. I think it's safe that you have Elias lose, because if Lashley loses, you kind of lose credibility there. Elias loses, he's a heel. I mean, he's a face. People still love Elias. So I got to give it to Lashley with the assist to Lio Rush.
Nice, yeah. Little Lio Rush factor. Okay.
I'm actually going the opposite way. I see Lio Rush inadvertently costing Lashley in the match and getting thrown into the fourth row as a result.
I'd love to see that.
They're finally getting to the point where it looks like they're going to pull the trigger on Elias a little bit. And Bobby Lashley, as good as he is since he came back from Impact, he's kind of just been kind of there.
Yeah.
He's been a utility player, good soldier and all, but it doesn't seem like he's looking for one last big run, or at least they're not looking to get it out of him.
Yeah, I'm looking through even the lineup of the card here. Really, who are the big heels on Raw now? You have Ambrose and Corbin. Is that really your best next guy?
We have a Corbin guy right here. We'll get
Are you a big Constable guy? Yeah. I liked him. I loved the Lone Wolf NXT thing.
That's where he got me.
Yeah.
We have another Corbin guy. How about finally?
I know we're agreed. The corporate Kane shtick that they're putting him into is it sucks. But I mean, what are you gonna do?
He looked like the bully from an '80s high school movie.
Yeah.
But that worked. It was.
But that's the thing. He's so it's so hard with how involved people are online. Like if we love you as a heel, like a Kevin Owens, like they almost kind of become a face. Like he is truly hated, and that's why he's a good heel. You forget to like, oh wait, I'm supposed to hate this guy. He elicits that pretty naturally.
Yeah,
which is why I kind of
if you watch Breaking Ground, it's like this guy's just genuinely unlikable.
Yeah, he's just a bad person. He was bad in his football career, his fighting career. He's just a bad person.
Let's you know what? Let's segue to that match right now. Let's go Corbin Braun real quick. I mean, do you guys think that Corbin is going to? Well, because there's a stipulation on this match.
Yes.
If he wins, he gets that permanent spot. Oh, man, this is tricky. And then if Braun defeats him, what was the stipulation? I guess he just doesn't.
If Braun wins, I think he gets the title shot with Lesnar, right? Is that it?
That's what I'm thinking. It's so far back because Braun hasn't been on TV, but I believe he might. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. You might be right. I'm sitting here thinking that might be the case. Yeah, I think they did have a confrontation before Braun had gotten injured. I think that's the case.
If Strowman wins, he gets a Universal Championship match at Royal Rumble, and Corbin is stripped of all authoritative power. If Corbin wins, he becomes permanent GM of Raw.
Dude, I like this guy. Great debut. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Google.
Yeah, no, really good. He just like that, ready to go. I was gonna pick Corbin in this one, just kind of throw everyone off, but I think they're going to make a move towards someone else being the general manager. I think it makes sense for Braun not to be in the Royal Rumble because he's just a heavy favorite.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with just like Braun, just vengeance, short and sweet. Put him through a couple announce tables, and that's that. I'll go Braun, no more Corbin general manager, unless you guys think they're going to build on the heat of Corbin, or what do you think?
This is a tough call because, I mean, they've got another 5-foot general manager waiting in the wings right now.
I think I know who you're.
Yeah, she's already part of the show in that capacity.
I see it.
Apparently, she's taken quite a few dingers over the past few years, and she may be scaling back on the ring work. And that would be a great spot for her. She's people were old like me. Alexandra York 2.0.
Wasn't this age of girl power? You know, we're all about it, of course.
It's like almost like the AJ when the AJ Lee ran SmackDown or Raw for a little while there.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't see. Again, I'm one of those rare Baron Corbin fans that like, if you don't like the big man style, fine, but he does the big man style fairly well. He reminds me of the Big Boss Man. He's a great mid card heel.
Yeah.
You know, he moves pretty good in there, great natural athlete. But if you have the big man versus the big man, the bigger of the big men is the one that's supposed to go over.
Physics.
I'm trying to remember. The elbow injury, is that legit?
I think he had like an arm thing. I don't know if
maybe it's some bone chips removed or something like that.
He had a procedure.
He definitely got a real surgery. They were posting it all over.
Yeah, that'll have him back for Royal Rumble, though. Yeah. I'm going with Braun on this one because I don't see them advertising a TLC match with Braun Strowman and then... No, he's legit going to forfeit. I don't see that happening.
Yeah. What do you got for this one, Chris?
This one's tough. I'm going to just to be the contrarian here, I'll go with Corbin just because he's he's gonna kill the slime ball aspect of it. But what's killing me is exactly what you said, Bob. Having him in the Rumble, like how do you have him lose? Because he's such a monster. He's been built up so incredibly large.
Won the greatest Royal Rumble that one time.
Yeah, he won the greatest Royal Rumble.
People,
But then you think about it, and he's lost to Lesnar substantially, a lot. So like I could see Corbin slipping out of this. I think Strowman comes. I think he does show up because he's advertised too. But I think Corbin sneaks through this somehow. But I love the contingency plan of having Alexa Bliss take over full time.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah,
for sure.
They have been building that and right under our noses, and didn't even pick up on that.
And she could return the favor and reinstate him into some sort of capacity. He'd be back as constable rather than GM.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
Because I mean, there's always a way for him to still, like, if Strowman loses, there's always a way for him to still get in that title shot at one of the major coming up pay-per-views.
Good stuff, guys.
I hate that I'm going with Corbin, but I'm doing it.
Yeah, it does.
It's like, all right.
All right, let's go Natalya versus Ruby Riott in a tables match. Very interesting build in this one. I was kind of mad at them, Yeah, I was kind of mad at them benching Natalya here and there, like on Raw and pay-per-views and stuff like that. We kind of thought inevitably she was going to turn on Ronda at some point.
Yeah.
Obviously, real life things happened, and it wasn't really the timing for that.
Yeah.
But also, she's been just getting killed on TV, disrespected.
I know,
I'm hoping she signed off. My guess is she signed off on some of this stuff, maybe in a way to, at the end of the day, honor her father and
wrestling is wrestling.
Exactly. Yeah, you get that thought.
Damn, you creative writers
You
are
get that.
cold-blooded.
Yeah,
They brought in a table with her dead father.
I
was like, Jesus Christ, they have no limit.
That was 360 degrees of cringe fest.
That's attitude.
Yeah,
I was like,
that was like, oh.
Yeah, you're like, I'm a grown man and
teeth.
I'm uncomfortable watching this. I was like, damn, that's uncomfortable.
It's like even Ruby Riot's got to be out there being a little bit uncomfortable.
Like,
I mean, she killed it.
Joe,
Like,
do you want me to bring out what?
Yeah. But Natalya dedicated the match to her father.
Yeah.
What else did they have? Something with her, the glasses being broken.
That's how it
that's what
started.
started.
It was like, for the very beginning, it's like, they kind of beating us over the head with this already before they even started the angle.
Based purely on all of this nonsense and disrespect, and some may say in bad taste. WWE, I'm just going to go Natalya. Hopefully they right this wrong, and she dedicated this match to her father, and hopefully it's a nice moment for her, a nice win. Otherwise, the other direction I see is, are we just trying to make Natalya kind of break character-wise, make her break and kind of lose it, which we kind of have a lot of going on right now. So I'm just going to go with Natalya and dedicate the match to her father. Big win, nice moment for her. Chris, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with the answer I hate, and I think Ruby Riott I think they're just Natalya's she's a veteran. Her whole family's obviously dedicated to the business, and I think for that reason, she knows she's on the end of her career, and she's gonna put over the young talent. And I think this is one hell of a way to get nuclear heat for someone who's, Ruby Riott's she's an organic heel. She's not like the the Liv Morgans or the Alexa Bliss who are like this image of like a beauty queen who's just like a brat. I think she's got the look of a heel. She's got the attitude of a heel. She's obviously being written to be one, and I think this is gonna help propel that. You're just dumping all over a surefire Hall of Famer in the Anvil. So I go Ruby Riott again reluctantly. But
I was gonna say
I'm looking down the list. I went a lot of heels here so far.
This is like very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
a lot of heels here, but I go Ruby Riott.
All right, go ahead, Matt.
All right, I'm gonna go with Natalya, for no other reason but they've just been heaping it on. Something's got to slide off at this point. And do you know if again, not to be negative, but if those of us who've been watching, it seems like Ruby Riott out of that group is here, and then Liv and Sarah are kind of here, and they're not catching up all that. They're not gaining quickly, at least.
Yeah, they're definitely more like the Miz Taraj to the Miz.
Yeah,
there.
if they want to break this up and get 3 acts out of 1 act, this could be it. It's like the where the hell were you guys when you were supposed to cover me?
I could see that. Yeah. Yeah, then I hope you guys are right for that one.
Yeah,
I want to tell you because it's like again, like anytime you can get so organically, like, oh, this is so uncomfortable. Like like the girl's dad died like a month ago. It feels like, and they're just
never let a crisis go to waste.
Yeah, my God.
I mean,
I've seen it over and over again in so many places.
They've really done it.
Let's move on from this. We'll see what happens. Let's talk a little bit about 205 Live, the Cruiserweight division, the Cruiserweight title. Mr. Alexa Bliss, Buddy Murphy versus Cedric Alexander. Cedric Alexander finally getting that shot back at his, Cruiserweight title. I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. I just think Buddy Murphy's going to continue this run. He's got a little bit more size on everyone. He's got a good thing going. I had the big home country win, continent.
Both.
All the above.
Subcontinent?
Yeah.
It's both.
So I'm just gonna stick with Buddy Murphy on this one. Matt, what do you got on cruiserweights?
Yeah, I'm going with Buddy too. Cedric is another guy who's 205. First thing in the morning after skipping dinner, like Buddy is.
Yeah.
But they I mean, one of the biggest things I took away, I believe, was from Survivor Series when they had their match. Buddy Murphy and Mustafa Ali, was it?
Yes.
Went out there and got no reaction when they came out from the back, and halfway through the match, the whole place is chanting 205, 205.
Yeah.
This is something people have been waiting to see. They want to see the good cruiserweight action, and they're letting them open it up. It's not the Lucha House Party.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the 3-on-3, do it the Raw style when you're on Raw, like we got when they were the exclusive property of Raw and they changed the ring ropes.
Yep.
You know, when they first came over.
That was such a tragedy, wasn't it?
Yeah, they turn up the gas, and I think Buddy Murphy's going to hold on to it because he's been doing a good job so far.
I like it.
I'm gonna make it a hat trick. You took a lot of exactly what I was saying. Like, I was one of the people that don't pay attention to 205 as much as do like the UK or the NXTs or the other network stuff. But again, that Survivor Series match, it was like, who the hell are these guys? And you knew Buddy Murphy from being Mr. Alexa Bliss. Obviously, you knew Cedric Alexander. He had probably one of the more main roster exposure when 205 was on there. But I got to give it to Buddy Murphy. I think he's been carrying 205 along with Ali, probably, in a way that Neville kind of did before he left. So I think they are smart to keep it with someone who caught so many people's eye. And now, obviously, Ali just did that on, what was it, Monday, Tuesday night?
SmackDown,
yeah, Tuesday against Daniel Bryan.
Moment.
So it's like, all right, you got, the people you're giving us the exposure to are working. So just keep on those guys and then slowly lead the rest in. Get rid of Lucha House Party. Perfect example. That's such a tragedy. I love the revival. They kill me.
Yeah.
I just want to rip my eyes out when I see that every week. What a disservice to that team.
Nice moment for Ali though on SmackDown.
Yeah.
That
Did you guys see that video where he went backstage?
Yeah.
Party and the Usos and New Day giving him props. That's a nice moment. I like that.
Yeah.
And I think I was texting Matt at the time. I'm like, is everyone watching SmackDown? I was like, Matt, dude, like, did I miss something? Like, was there like a Twitter war between these guys? Like, why is this match? I mean, I'm glad it's happening. Maybe Daniel Bryan had a hand.
Halfway through the week, they started putting out on social media, but then like, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm down with it. I have no objections.
Just opening the door for the cruiserweights to kind of get on the main shows too. Yeah. I like that a lot. All right, guys, let's go for the big one here. Ambrose versus Rollins. We could talk about this all day, I'm sure. For the Intercontinental title, this is not a TLC match.
It's a ladder match.
Yes,
it is a ladder match. It is a ladder match. Yep. Even better. Good. So. Yeah, the whole Ambrose thing. I'm a big Dean Ambrose fan. I don't know if either of you guys watch that Chronicle on the WWE Network with Dean Ambrose. It's interesting.
I did not, no.
It's interesting. Like, it starts out, I mean, they basically follow him around through his recovery and getting back to the ring and get his reaction. And he's pretty much like, you keep asking me the same question. He's like, I'm not going to say what you want me to say. If you want me to say something, give me a script. Like, he wasn't about it. He's like, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but you keep asking me the same question. Like, he's very real. And, like, I feel like I always say this. He's the guy that's going to go off the script a little bit. I always envisioned him as a Stone Cold. Just never really happened that way. Becky kind of took that role, and she's killing it.
Yeah.
Crushing it. So he's always been interesting to me. I hate... Dean Ambrose is not a germaphobe. Him getting the shots and stuff, and then the gas man. Like, I understand the theatrics, and I understand like the heel maneuvers, but that's not Dean Ambrose. He is not a germaphobe. That's the last things he's slept on floors with cockroaches. Like, he's more like, I don't know. It's just not Dean Ambrose. It's not working for me. I like I have no problem with him being the heel, but like. His issue is with the fans, and I think his issue should be more like the Shield and Seth personally.
Yeah, I like him having like the what the hell is it? Oh, he's got like the stick up his butt from being like the third guy in the Shield for so long. Like, obviously Rollins and Reigns were the bigger stars. Like, I like him having that. Like, he is.
That makes sense. Yeah.
The jealousy angle always works.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. And then obviously that huge heel turn on like why on this night.
That was
all that.
great. Yeah.
Just like and like what a just a genuine moment on that show. I mean, just when the Shield came out and just fall into his arms and Rollins just bawling. It was just like what a moment. Like obviously we hope Reigns gets better. I would love if he comes back in the Rumble and he wins the Rumble. Good. I have no problem with it this time.
Yeah,
that'd be magic. But anyway, that heel turn, they made the most of it. And then now they're being silly. And I don't love it. Seth Rollins constantly, putting on just almost 5-star matches. That TLC, he's carried the show on Raw. He carried the show. He
More than once.
They made Corbin the scapegoat. He was the voice of the fans. I was cool with it. They addressed it head on. I liked it. And Rollins is like, okay, and I'll do a TLC match. And I'm doing a ladder match on Sunday. And he did everythth. He went through tables. He did the suicide dives. I mean, he carried the show. I mean, he laid it all on the line. So this is a tough one. What do you guys think about, I guess, Dean Ambrose right now? Not digging that jacket. And
the Bane jacket?
The Bane jacket.
And when he wore the mask too, I was like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You're beating us over the head with this right now.
What do you guys think about all this? And who's going to be the Intercontinental Champion at the end of the night? Go ahead, Chris.
I think I gotta pick a face eventually, so I'm gonna go with Rollins here. I think this is like the rivalry that goes through like the very lull of holidays, like the tribute to the troops shows, like the beginning of January. Like this is like where you're gonna see like your gimmicky matches like throughout the time. Like I think a couple of years ago it was like a heavily, I think it was Ambrose actually with Bray Wyatt. There was a constant like 3-month in this downtime of the year. I think that's what Rollins and Ambrose is going to be. I think it stays with, you need a good guy to be the belt, to have the belt at this time of year, and that's who I pick for that. So I think it's going to be Rollins.
That's interesting. That's actually pretty good. Matt, what do you got?
I'm going with Rollins too. This is, again, just because of timing and how it worked out. This is a grudge match. This doesn't need a title in it. It just happened to be there, so go ahead and use it. Said Seth Rollins is the guy who's kind of carrying the show right now. Throughout the years, Pat Patterson, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho, it seemed like the best worker in the company, if they don't have anything to do, that's their title. That kind of was like Randy Savage.
Yeah.
It was like an unofficial little tap on the shoulder. That's Seth Rollins right now to a T. And he's earning it. But I do like what Chris said. It seems like they're just getting started.
Yeah, oh yeah. This isn't going away.
This isn't a blow-off angle. A title match with a ladder involved. That's not the blow-off.
Yeah, this can't be the end. There's such a long rivalry and a long history with these characters, especially with the looming Reigns return. I'd love to see Reigns finally just come back as a heel now that everyone finally likes him, because he's going up. Obviously, has all the support in the world, rightfully so. I'd love to see him come back now and just like take out a huge name, like get like a Jericho or even like The Rock, and just have Reigns just beat the crap out of him.
Cousin, right?
Yeah. Like have him just take down an enormous face and like an AJ Styles even, and then just fully embrace the heel thing that he couldn't for so long. I would love that.
Interesting. You guys are really convincing me otherwise. There's a lot of this happening tonight. I feel like I'm going to make all these like picks and just be way off. I'm just getting that feeling this time around. But I'm going to go Ambrose. I just think they were waiting for him to come back. We were waiting for him to come heel. They wanted to do this feud earlier. They wanted to get the IC title back on Ambrose. He's had it a few times. I just think Ambrose is going to get it. I'm not going to be thrilled with it or thrilled with his character. And maybe this feud, like you guys said, will still continue throughout all that. Seth Rollins did have an interesting interview on some radio station I watched. It was really good. And he was talking about Brock and the lack of the Universal title. And he wasn't like knocking Brock, but he was just saying like, look, he does his own thing, but everyone hates, what's going on. But like, he's a respected wrestler. He's one of the best in the ring. He knows what he's doing, but he's not there. So I consider myself, like, not to be arrogant, but I consider myself the champion of Raw.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting. So more to your guys.
It's pretty fair, yeah.
And he carries himself as such.
And Miz did the same thing when he had the belt.
True, yeah.
He that was what he said every week in and week out.
But I think I think Seth Rollins has earned that. He's never held the Universal Championship. Few have. He's not. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's not held it. I don't think he did.
Finn Balor, I know he lost the inaugural to Finn Balor.
Finn
Balor had to relinquish it.
And then went to KO when Seth got screwed by Triple H.
Yeah, and then
Goldberg, Brock, something like that.
Goldberg, Brock.
A lot of Brock in there.
Yeah, Brock.
Reigns.
And then back to Brock.
I don't think Rollins is that. I'm fairly certain
he's
right.
Right.
He's never carried it.
Yeah.
I think it's time. He earned that title, and let's make that title. How long have we said this? Let's make that title relevant. You know, it's out of sight, it's out of mind. Reigns had it; it was relevant, but then they started doing the Shield thing, and then there's like, let's make this title relevant, please. I think Rollins is a strong case for a winner of a Royal Rumble. That would be just look good on his already amazing resume. So I'm just gonna go. Title's going to Dean, but big things for Rollins to come.
Yeah, obviously these guys are top workhorses, like you said. I don't think any one of them is going into obscurity anytime soon. Like the Intercontinental Championship is almost like the consolation prize for this match, because whoever loses, the rivalry is going to continue, and they're going to go on to a bigger thing in the like the main pay-per-view season.
Yeah, totally, man. I know we're talking a lot of Rumble already. Right?
We're looking ahead on the schedule. It's bad. You can't do that.
I know, that's the thing. Yeah,
you go too far out, and then Vince will pull the rug right out front.
That's exactly. I feel like that's what I'm doing too. You're absolutely right. Let's go into some tag team action here. Of course, we have We Are the Bar versus the New Day versus the Usos for the SmackDown Championship. Tag team championships. Is there any stipulation? I don't think so. I think it's just a straight up.
I think just a triple threat of it.
Yeah, just a triple threat.
Should be a great match. I mean, as we always say, the real winner, the fans. But I'm gonna throw it to Chris because I don't know where to go yet on this.
No, you're right. It's just a triple threat match. I was just looking really quick.
Yeah.
I don't damn know. So the bar's current champions,
yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta just keep it with the bar, just for a consistent. That these tag titles in both divisions have just been like an incredible disservice. They're just being, it's hot potato almost like with the tag titles, and it's basically going to lose a lot of credibility to me personally. I know we grew up probably around like the same time that we're kind of spoiled, like the Edge and Christians, the Hardys, the Dudley, the TLC, the Triangle matches. So you're so spoiled with what you're used to, and like you see this Hall of Fame tag team division every year. And you have like this keep away with the tag titles. So I think like establish some credibility, get some heels with them, and keep it on the bar.
It's not bad. Matt, what do you got?
I was leaning towards the bar, and then I started thinking we're seeing the same three teams, just again playing hot potato between the Usos and New Day feuding, which was a great feud, and then the bar comes in and they're just there to be the foil to the other two teams. Anybody seen Sanity in a while?
That's where I was going.
If Sanity's going to come in as heels, as monsters, would that be better against the bar? Or would that be better against, say, the New Day, which is a 3-man stable? And
I like that.
So
where the hell have they been?
We might be seeing your 6-time World Tag Team Champions.
And again, something good to have around like the feel good holiday shows. Again, tribute to the troops comes to mind. I could see that. Yeah,
no, that's a great point. I'm just gonna go the other way. I'm gonna go Usos.
Nice. I like the parody.
Boom.
I like the parody we have here.
I'm gonna go Usos because, kind of to your point, I think we need to get Sanity going here, and it needs to be against like a face team. I would consider the Usos face again at this point.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And we brought Nikki Cross in. Love Nikki Cross. We brought her in to fight Becky, and that was awesome. A great debut. Never seen her. I think she's still kind of touring with NXT or whatever. Coming to Tom's River, I hear.
Really?
I think so. I believe so.
Nice.
So that'll be awesome.
Yeah. Are there any tags like you made me think with Sanity, like a wild card? Are there any tag teams in NXT that are about at their boiling point in time to come up? And don't you dare say Undisputed. I want them at NXT forever.
Yeah, no, they should stay there.
I don't want them to ever leave. They're just booked so perfectly there. I was like, I don't want you to ever leave. But I can't think of any really other tag teams on that roster that are established enough to come up yet. There's
Street Profits.
There's the mighty Street. Yeah, where the hell have they been?
They've been in NXT for a long.
Street Profits, Heavy Machinery.
Heavy Machinery.
The mighty
War Raiders. I'm a big fan of. But they just got there. I mean,
yes, it's really not.
I'm surprised they haven't pulled up Heavy Machinery because Dosovic he's a hoot. That guy.
Yeah, it's like he's just Chris Farley. Yeah.
I love how he has a crush on Mandy Rose, by the way. Which, by the way, I mean, how could you?
Yeah.
He is human.
And at the same time, some of these NXT call-ups just kind of fizzle out.
Did you see Tyler Breeze? Was it last night?
I just watched it this morning.
I was like, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame.
And we could talk about NXT all day too.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. I would love to see Sanity with Nikki Cross heavily involved, and also doing her own thing. She can carry her own. And at the same time, I know there's like a wish list here, but I would love to see her get that NXT. All right, moving on. Let's go to Finn Balor. I don't think it's going to be a demon Finn Balor versus Drew McIntyre, who did take his first loss, I think, to Finn Balor in terms of being on
to Dolph Ziggler.
To Ziggler, rather. I'm sorry.
Because of Finn
with
Balor.
the assist.
Finn Balor, yes. When Finn Balor was running that whole show, running all over the place. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he got Leo Rush attacked with the guitar later that night. He was all over.
But yeah, what do you guys think about this? Is McIntyre going to have the big win, or is Finn starting to get his momentum finally? This guy just never. I mean, he got his moment. Obviously, he got injured, but we're waiting for Finn to get his moment. What do you guys think, Matt?
I don't think there's any question. He doesn't have, the rocket to his back that Becky does right now, but they're picking up with what they wanted to do with Drew McIntyre. Was it 5-6 years ago when his star lost some of its shine?
Yeah,
it's
the
like
hand-picked,
this was our guy, and you said no because we picked him, and okay, now we're letting you think that you're picking him, and he's got star written all over him.
Yeah.
They're obviously moving him up for that reason. They broke him away from Braun. They broke him away from Dolph. He's out there on his own. He's the badass, and the badass is the villain. He's wearing the black hat, and he's going to wear the black hat against the big white hat.
Yeah. I completely agree. I don't see how you could have him lose this. He's got the look of the heel. He's got the attitude, the move set, everything. He's the full package right now. Shame on myself for not saying. I said we have a lack of good heels on Raw earlier. I completely forgot about this guy. I don't know how. I think you got to keep this going. This momentum's been great. He's clearly a main eventer. He's got to get the win. And again, you don't lose any credibility with Balor because he's such a fan favorite.
Yeah, it's like guys like Bray Wyatt who could just lose and lose and lose and still be big time.
Yeah, like the Zigglers of the world. They're lovable. They're the lovable loser. Like again, not to harp on NXT, but the Johnny Gargano's same thing. He's a lovable loser, even if he's a heel right now. You could lose and lose and lose, and you'll still be loved.
Match of the year, him versus Aleister.
Oh yeah,
love that match.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to start doing an NXT show.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah, man. Do the takeover. Yeah.
Yeah, that's our. Oh man,
that's those Phoenix, right? Phoenix
is the next one. Yeah. Oh man, there's so much going on. I'm gonna go McIntyre as well. Yeah. For all the reasons you guys said, just keep that momentum going. And to your point, we need that big time heel. On Raw. So very interesting.
That was a good point you made with the demon. I don't think there's any reason for it to come out, but there hasn't been a sighting with the demon since when it was supposed to be. Was it supposed to be Bray Wyatt? And then someone got injured, like something like.
Yeah, that was when Bray and Roman got the mumps.
Yeah, and then he fought Styles. Finn fought Styles
as the demon. Yeah,
as the demon, and he beat.
It was like almost like, damn, we advertised the demon and we have to bring him out.
And he was doing the pumpkin face demon for the promos.
Yes,
because it was right around Halloween.
Yeah, I like how he changes it a lot. Like he had the top hat once, like the voodoo one.
Oh yeah,
I liked it a lot.
And he beat Styles. A big win for him on that. What was that last year's Survivor Series? Something like.
Geez, that might have been because it was a crossover from brand to brand.
I don't know. I forget. But
that was the whole thing. They made the joke. Survivor Series is the only place where they both, unless somebody gets the mumps, and then they cross.
Yes,
out.
So
maybe it was TLC. I don't know.
It was something.
Yeah, it was something. But yeah, you're right, man. But that was an awesome match. Let's go. Have we come this far? I believe that we are
left, right?
Yeah, that's what I got. I love that we all have notebooks and we all have. This is serious.
I was ready for this.
This is serious. You guys are crushing it as always.
That's fanboy.
I'm a broadcast journalist, Monsoon.
Yeah, that's right.
Going bananas.
We have Nia Jax versus Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship. I'm gonna throw it over to Matt. What do you think about this one? Big UFC fan.
It's funny when I told my father-in-law what I was going to be doing today. He's a big UFC fan and a huge Ronda fan.
No way.
So he's like, "Is Ronda going to be there?" I said, "No, she's not going to be there." So, "Are you going to talk about her?" Like, "Yeah, we're going to talk about her." He says, "Okay."
That's awesome.
I accept.
Yes. This is. I don't feel that the build was as good as it could have been, mostly because they they brought them together too many times without them swinging. If you hate somebody, if this is a grudge match, if you're saying I'm gonna knock you out like I knocked out Becky, she's within arm's reach.
Yeah, go for it.
There's your shot. And come on, it's not time for Ronda to lose yet.
Yeah.
And for everybody who was kind of saying, Nia's kind of getting rewarded for everything happened. She's getting fed to Ronda.
Oh yeah.
She's getting fed to Ronda so that whoever ends up really being with her, that's that.
You're going Ronda?
I'm going with Ronda.
I'm just going to agree with you right off the bat, Matt. Ronda's going to carry it for a little while. Maybe into Mania, maybe versus Becky. I know. I'm shooting to the future here way too much tonight. Chris, what do you got on this one?
Yeah, I don't know how you can go against Rousey right now. I just obviously the build's going something more big with WrestleMania around the corner. Originally, the plan was her with Charlotte. Now it's looking like Lynch might steal that spotlight because Charlotte kind of inadvertently stole that spotlight at Survivor Series. I do think they give Nia Jax a lot more offense than anticipated. Like not like the Alexa Bliss squash that Rousey had. I think Nia Jax seems to have a chance, but then ultimately, I think everybody's expecting this outcome. So that's why I got to go with Rousey here.
They had this match before too. This has been.
Yeah, I think it was one of her first big tests.
Yeah.
That's when Alexa Bliss cashed in later that night.
Yes,
correct?
yes, I know.
She cashed in the same night as the Money in the Bank, and then that's when she stole the title. Yeah,
crazy man. But yeah, I think we can all just go Ronda, and I think that Nia Tamina thing. I mean, how long are we waiting on these women's tag titles? The only thing they officially said on Raw, there was like those Q&As that are killing me with those Planet fans and all and stuff. But like they kind of danced. It was Sasha and Bailey.
Yeah,
and they kind of danced. Oh well, if there was a tag, team championship. Like I would love some sort of official, Stephanie McMahon comes out and presents, if Triple H comes out and presents, on the road to WrestleMania, we're going to have a tag team tournament and at WrestleMania. So this is why, we had that big Bailey kind of heel turn that just fizzled out when the fans went nuts and then nothing came of it. You have Graves constantly antagonizing the relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Between
She's just
Sasha
going to turn on you again, Bailey.
Sasha, who's great as a heel and a face,
of course,
for sure. But I think Tamina and Nia are going to kind of continue if we are going to do this tag team thing. We'll have the Riot Squad. We'll have Tamina and Nia, Bailey, Sasha, maybe Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, the Iconics. So I know.
And Mandy and Sonya have really been picking it up lately over the past few weeks.
Yeah.
Huge fan of Sonya Deville.
I am too.
From Tough Enough days. When we saw her on
I'm
that,
with you,
I was like, Tough Daria, man. She's the best.
She was serious about it, too.
I loved her. Like that, what a again, tragedy with how that popularity contest ended up going with who won that.
Yeah.
I mean, Mandy Rose won it, but for the men, it was just like a disaster how that panned out.
Pair up and square up.
Yeah.
That's right.
I don't know the women tag thing. I'm all for, but I feel like they don't even handle the men tag thing right now. It's like it's like get some traction here before you keep going.
I was questioning the depth there, and then you guys brought it up like that. They actually kind of
they actually had
deep
some
enough.
Like I slept on the Iconics and a couple other people. Like Naomi and Asuka are kind of a team.
Yeah,
up
totally,
yeah,
dude.
That's a big
There's
one.
a couple,
And that kind of right now isn't going on. Awesome. Naomi also a huge favorite. But yeah, that'll be exciting. So hopefully they make some sort of announcement for the tag titles. But all Ronda Rousey, all around, I think she's going to be holding on to that title. I don't think she's going to be in the Rumble, so I expect her to be holding the title when Rumble comes around. I believe we are on to the last match. Of course, AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. I want to know also what you guys think about this Daniel Bryan, not so much heel turn, but heel character.
The new Daniel.
The new Daniel Bryan.
Bryan.
Where he comes out without the side plates and he took the old side to top. And, it's interesting. It's interesting.
I didn't even notice that, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm reviewing that show.
When he won the title, he came out like the first one or two times with the side plates. The second time, the side plates were ripped off and they were just holes. And then, was it last night or 2 nights ago, he came out and they just say Daniel Bryan.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I look at all the belt stuff.
That's like a cool little Easter egg. I like that.
Oh yeah. But anyway, I think long story short, I think AJ's. It's an interesting character for Daniel Bryan. I think AJ Styles is trying to kind of wind down a little bit. He's really just been putting in all the work, making all the appearances, carrying the title, being a great true champion in and out of the ring. I think he's okay with somebody having it right now, and I think he wants to slow down just a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Daniel Bryan. But what do you guys think about, first, the Daniel Bryan heel character, and who's walking out with the championship? We'll throw it over to Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I love the turn. I feel like it's long overdue at this point. You could tell he's been dying to do this heel role for so long, and he was, again, that's where he really made his bread and butter and where he got recognized in the first place. He got fired for it once, if everyone remembers.
Yes,
When the
Nexus.
Nexus, yeah. I always confuse them with the core. So
Yeah.
it was kind of the same thing.
That's right. I forgot about the core.
That's what that's kind of when he got
split. Yeah.
It's like he really got recognized there. So I was really happy that he got to do it again. I was never like it's overly Daniel Bryan guy like everyone else was when the Yes Movement first broke out. But like, how could you not get involved in it? It was so contagious. But I think he's organically doing it now. I think he's going to probably keep the title. You got to establish the credibility with this turn here and have him keep the title. And I really like the point you made with like kind of letting AJ Styles. He went on a historical run, so he like in terms of the length of his run. I think it's probably time that he could just dial it back a little, prepare for the later seasons.
Oh, the big WrestleMania match too, I think.
Right.
I'm just saying, Phenom versus the Phenomenal One, the Undertaker.
Yeah.
I mean, how good.
I can
Good on
see them
paper.
just keeping this match all the way until WrestleMania. I mean, it's a great match. Like this being on TLC is like shocking in a way.
Yeah.
That they're throwing it away here.
Did you get Mania tickets?
No, I want them so.
Yo, make it happen, man. We'll see you there.
Did you guys get tickets?
We'll
We got
be
tickets.
there. We'll be podcasting. We're doing some
Really?
shout out. We're going to mark out at the Meadowlands WrestleMania morning. Jim Ross is going to be there. The FBI Nunzio, Val Venus.
Val Venus.
Yeah, a
Hello,
bunch of guys
ladies.
from back in the day are going to be there. So we're going to have some interviews in the morning, and
And
then we're
some
going to
barbecue,
And
yeah.
I was going to say, and then we're going to tailgate. We're going to hashtag Meatgate. We're going to be cooking. I heard Matt might be making some of that famous brisket. So
Maybe some brisket,
my
maybe
hopes are-
pernil, you don't know?
You had me at
Yeah.
brisket.
Oh yeah, I got to talk to you about brisket in a little bit. Mike was telling me some of your secrets.
It is in our
Wow.
backyard. I feel like I'd be remiss to not go.
You gotta go, and
Yeah.
you know what? We did. I don't know if you got to go last time it was here at MetLife.
No.
Half the fun really is the tailgating because there's legit gold dust. And there's a whole
cosplay like
cosplay.
it's
I can definitely see
Comic-Con.
that.
It's great.
We'll be podcasting out there, talking to the fans as well. There was like a Hulk Hogan and Macho Man
Who
match.
legitimately dropped the leg on like the,
In the
hard
parking
lot on another grown man.
The
It was
huge
like,
crowd,
Bill's
like-
Mafia.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of was. It was crazy, but I digress anyway.
I've got to like the live, like the Road to WrestleMania, like house shows, and like my wife's like, "Oh, you're gonna wear like a Macho Man shirt." I'm like, "Trust me, I'm not gonna be in the top 30 most embarrassing people."
Oh, yeah.
Not even close. Trust me. And sure enough, I'm not.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Most of us we're very lucky. Matt, what do you think about this Daniel Bryan heel turn, and who do you think is walking out the WWE champion?
I think first off, it's great. In the past, when he was, when he came back from getting fired, and he was trying to think of the UFC fighter he was emulating with the yes thing. I was like Gilbert Melendez.
Oh,
Who
I
was
know
that?
exactly what you're talking about. That's
yeah.
how I was born. Yeah.
That's how I was born.
really?
Yeah, he was that had happened, so he started doing it, and then when he went, everybody caught on to it. Then to turn heel, he was doing the no. It was always had like this kind of comedic element to it, and now he is like a true heel, like he hadn't been since back in Ring of Honor.
Yes. Yeah.
When he was shaving his head and growing the beard and wearing the cape and condescending to everybody, less environmental in his message, but
It works for him.
it's done, and a testament to how good he is. He went from being the most popular, most beloved person / character in that company that you can name for the past 20 years, probably, if not longer, to getting booed out of the building in the span of 2 to 3 weeks.
I never thought I'd see the day where
2 to 3 weeks.
They really
he
boo him.
grabbed
Yeah.
everybody's nose and turned them 180.
Yeah, I never thought
Just
I'd
like
see
that.
him being booed. Like I
And-
thought he was like a Roman Reigns. Like you could never turn how the crowd feels about him, but they did it. I couldn't believe it.
He had that great line. fight for your dreams and your dreams will fight for you.
Yeah.
And it just, there's a great moment. Like, and then him coming back and all that stuff. I was just like, what a great line. Is that from something or was that him?
It's
WWE
probably
writers.
from somewhere.
It was great.
I think he
Motivational
said, like,
speaker Tony Robbins, maybe. I don't know. Something.
It's great.
I think he said like Brie Bella was the one that told it to him. But I don't, again, if she got that from herself or someone else, I don't know.
That's just a great line. But anyway, yeah, so it kind of makes sense for the heel turn because what do we want? Like another underdog, historic run? Like we've seen that. I guess kind of that's what we wanted, but I think this is fresh.
I love the chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan. Yeah.
For sure. Go ahead, Matt. Who do you think?
It's harder for the smaller guy to be the dangerous heel.
Yeah.
But he's always worked that sort of like submission moves, and when he does go heel, just the perfect lineup, the crotch kicks or what have you, whatever it needs. It's a perfect timing. Your heart sinks into your stomach every time you see it because you're like, oh, we loved you.
Yeah.
But and that's why I don't know where this thing with Shane McMahon and The Miz is going.
True, yeah.
But if that doesn't go all the way to WrestleMania, maybe Miz and Daniel one more time with the roles reversed.
Ah.
Yeah.
I said this before that this could have happened earlier where Daniel has to break his code to beat Miz at his own game, or that Miz had to break his code to pull out all the stops and bust out a moonsault or something to beat Daniel.
That'd be sweet.
I could see like The Miz. I guess kind of what happened like this pay-per-view. He's kind of not there.
Like you said, AJ can take a break.
I was gonna say none of us really had too much to say about AJ Styles for once.
Yeah.
We always talk about AJ Styles.
It's such a huge story with Bryan being such a twist. Like on within 24 hours, you had the shocking Reigns news, then the Ambrose turn, and then the next day you're like, all right, this is gonna be like a cigarette for what last night was, and then Daniel Bryan goes with the low blow and it just completely flips everyone on their head.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. But you know what? I mean, for that little run, they kept us on our toes. It's very interesting. For a while, it was kind of like, you get a heel turn, and you get a heel turn, But it's interesting. Charlotte's kind of in between right now. It's interesting.
Yeah.
You guys are making me think, when you said Naomi, Asuka, going back to that, now I'm starting to think to change my answer to Charlotte so Asuka and Naomi can go for the tag title. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. We're really thinking ahead on this one. But Daniel Bryan all around?
Yeah.
I'll go with Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan all around. All right, guys. I think that wraps it up.
We got our scorecards now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. For bragging rights, I guess. That's all I can offer you guys. But
that's
really,
fair.
Really good job. Next time we're doing our wrestling show, we'll be doing our Royal Rumble predictions, I believe, next month. And we're going to be doing a crossover with the Smark to Death podcast from Texas. So that's really good. I'm looking forward to having those guys go up against us. So it'll be Team Bob Culture Podcast back in action. Thank you, Podcast Dummies, of course, for having us.
Yeah,
appreciate it. Make sure you guys like them on Twitch, follow them. We appreciate all the support. Make sure you leave a review for the Bob Culture Podcast on iTunes, because if you search Bob Culture Podcast, I'm like the 6th thing that comes up, which is really weird. But those reviews really, really help. So that would be awesome. We super appreciate it. And guys, I guess we'll be watching TLC on the network for only $9.99 every month. You know the drill. All right, guys. Guys, thanks for a few minutes. Thanks for coming on. We are out. Peace. Hey guys, thanks for checking out this episode of the Bob Culture Podcast. Don't forget to support the show on patreon.com/Bob Culture Podcast for some great incentives. I'd like to give a shout out to my patrons JayCrow, Shannon, Krus, and of course Mike and Michelle Vermillion from Sledgepad Innovations. Sledgepad is the bass drum dampening system used by national acts like Pink, Goo Goo Dolls, Cher, Collective Soul, and a whole bunch more. Check them out at sledgepad.com. And of course, if you're a fan of the show, please subscribe on YouTube, check us out at podbean.com, and leave me a review at iTunes.